got the Giants coming up right now. You got the Panthers. You got the Commanders. You got the Seahawks. You got us again, which we're going to
Fatality.
dominate again. You got the Bills. And you got the Dolphins to close out with the Lions and the Commanders again. So, how important are those games? Those games are very important. So, when we talk about it, when we talk about the importance of who is going to be who at the end of the dance, it's going to be the Eagles. It's going to be us. You know what I mean? I'm not worried about that because we could do the same thing. We could do the same thing with us. We got the bye week. You know what I mean? So I'm feeling real good. We got the bye week, and then after that, we got the Chiefs. We got the Bills, which we're gonna beat their ass. I'm not worried about it. We got the 49ers. We got y'all corny asses again. The Seahawks and the Giants, the cornballs of the division. I'm not worried about it, and can't nobody debate me on that. You know. So when we talk about the upper echelon of football teams, the Eagles are right there. We are the team to beat. We're not worrying about people that's trying to operate on moral victories and what coulda, shoulda, wouldas, and what didn't happen in the refs talking about this, that, and the third. At the end of the day, the only thing that matters is the W in the win column, man. That's it. We're not worrying about all that small talk. So in other news, you know what I mean? The Cowboys went out. They got them a little wide receiver. They got him a little wide receiver. You know what I mean? So they went out and got them Martavius Bryant. You know what I mean? So they just signed him. He's a big target. He's kind of washed, if you ask me. He was washed in the when he was playing. You know what I mean? No disrespect to him. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, as I always say, at the end of the day, my dude was a drop machine. He was dropping passes here and there. And if you don't believe me, you can go ahead and YouTube that. I'm not worrying about that. He was in the likes of Antonio Brown and other people that was doing their thing at the time, and him along with other people just seemed to fizzle out. So uh, I mean, if you want to call that a good move in Dallas, that's cool with me. At the end of the day, we're gonna see them when we go down there, and if he's still healthy or if he's still on the team, for that matter, then we'll go ahead and dispose of him just like we're supposed to, just like real championship teams do. So, you know, good luck with the rest of your schedule, but I'm not concerned. We do have some a couple injuries that would need to be taken noticed of, and that's N'Kobe Dean. N'Kobe Dean looks like he's going to be missing some time. My dog, he really wanted to play with his guys, but from what I'm seeing, not all the Georgia dogs are born equally, man. From what I'm seeing, the only two people that's standing out in that bunch right now, if you want me to keep it a buck, is Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. And if you ask me, I'm cool with that because in the interior defensive line, that's where you want to be strong. Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, all those guys won't be around that much longer. So you want to make sure that you got them young pups ready to play. And so far, both look like they're headed on to have great careers in Philadelphia. So I'm super excited about that. Nolan Smith, because of the playing time situation, playing behind Barnett and others, is still yet to be seen. But I'm rooting for him. I feel like he has a lot of the key tools that can get the job done, get pressure onto the quarterback, and also even drop back in coverage if he can learn to get his head around in crucial situations, especially battling against good quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes, who could be great outside dealing with the play action pass. So these are different things that are very important. Something these are the things that killed us in the Super Bowl. Um, just those middle of the field attacks. And if you've been listening, I called it the other day, but if you've been listening, man, I'm not the only person that's been saying it. The middle of our defense is very, very weak. That should be the heart of our defense. If you think about a lot of players that played in the past, like Ray Lewis, even Levon, people like played in Philadelphia, like Levon Kirkland, big body, strong presence inside of the defense. You need those Bobby Wagner dudes that are just in the middle and pause. Dudes that are just taking charge, being the coach on the field, being the nucleus to the defense. and making sure that everybody is where they're supposed to be at all times, from the defensive backs all the way to the defensive tackle. And those are, it's very important, very vital, because one slip and somebody catch the ball on the crossing route or those quick slants, things like that, those screen passes. These are all those routes killed us. Those deep digs, those when Jalen Mills and those guys were here, those double moves was killing us. Y'all don't remember that? It's in Philadelphia, man. If you go through our history of failures, it's always been like bad defensive back play at the wrong time. At the wrong time. Every time we're successful, it's always been based on how well our cornerbacks have been playing. Patrick Mahomes started carving this up, man. Middle of the field. And then when we started, when soon as we started cheating towards the middle of the field, that's when they hit us with that play out to the flat twice. Same play, different sides. Same play, different sides. Because we were trying to catch up, trying to defend the middle of the field. And these are the types of things that fall on the defensive coordinators. So the defensive coordinator's job is to be able to come up with solutions quickly. And when you have a defense that's playing well and you are winning, you're supposed to have extra time at least to dig directly into the details. And the details tell us that in the passing game, we need to figure out how to shut some of these routes down. We need to have people in the right spot, because so far we're just not. So far we're not getting the job done, man. Bradbury getting burnt. You know what I mean? He getting burnt like barbecue chicken, as Shaq would say. I mean, he's rotisserie gold out there. My concern is on our passing defense, our defensive back situation. We have people like Roby that's coming back. We lost Goddard. I think we need another tight end. If that dude that we got from Denver is not going to pan out, we need to find that out very quickly. We don't need to have him on a roster taking up space. We need to go ahead and get rid of him. I thought that they would have used him a little bit more. They used him one time. We need to see more of that. I don't know, man. Hopefully our coaches have solutions. That's my biggest thing. Our coaches need to have solutions. We need to have solutions. Also, in the running game, I'm not sure what's going on the offensive front. I'm not sure, but I mean, I see some good progress with Swift, but I mean, I'm not really sold on our running back room either. Our running back room needs to get a little bit better. I'm not seeing nobody like I haven't seen big plays in a while. And the crazy thing is, we do so much passing. You would think that the run game should be better because we've done so much more passing. But I have no idea what's going on with that. And that falls on our offensive coordinator, because our offensive coordinator is supposed to pick up on the fact that, okay, so if they're doubling, tripling, they're trying to take out multiple receivers out of the game, there's only but so many people on the field. Run game needs to happen. And I get it. Dallas had a good defensive front. They can hold their own on a 4-man front, 5-man front, whatever the case may be. But we need to start busting some of the home runs out there, because if not, we're gonna once we stall out on offense or throwing the ball, then now we're back on defense too much. Now we're gassing our defenders out. And we can't have that, because that goes back to my other point. Once the other team starts cooking and they start throwing the ball, then you got Bradbury getting cooked. So we need to make sure that we get the proper support on the back end, or we need to make sure that we're scoring enough points to where we can start rushing our defensive players and getting pressure on the quarterback, putting them in a position to where they have to throw the ball more, putting them in a position to where they have to knock the quarterback off his spot and knock him off his game plan and make him improvise. Dak was pretty good at improvising last week, but that's only because that's all they do. It's basically him just trying to get it to CD Lamb on some backyard football shit. But that's the Cowboys. I'm talking about good football teams. Good football teams You're going to need to try to get them in situations that they're not used to being in, and that's being a bad football team. Dallas is used to being a bad football team, so you can put the quarterback in a bad situation. It's just another day to him because he's trash anyway. So putting a good quarterback in a bad situation that's not good, that's not used to being in a bad situation, works better, if you get what I'm saying. And those are the types of things that we need to do routinely so that we can start pulling out wins and closing the games out and start widening the gaps as far as points scored and points allowed. Sitting back off wide receivers and not getting physical with them is also going to hurt us. So we got to make sure that we're doing the things that we need to do to stay focused and locked in. Thank goodness we got a bye. Thank goodness we got time to figure this out. Kevin Byard, everyone's crushing him, talking about, oh, he's supposed to. I mean, what was he supposed to do by now? Well, he was supposed to have 3 pick 6s. He just got there. So get a man some time, get a man some space. You guys have to remember he's not an old man, but he's still a younger man. So he's still learning the game and learning what it's like to be on a winning team. It's a difference fitting into a winning system versus being good in a bad system. See, I'm just word playing it around today. So we want to make sure that we stay focused and locked in as Eagle Nation, man. Bird gang all day. That's what we do. So I know we are very passionate about our team and we want them to go out there and be perfect. But every football game, ladies and gentlemen, just isn't going to be perfect. Sometimes you're going to have to grind it out. Sometimes you're going to have to get hype and then settle yourself back down or stay even kill. Every game is like the weather. You never know what the fuck is going to happen, but you got to be prepared. So as long as we're prepared, as long as we go into the bye week prepared and get rested on some injuries and some sore guys that's happening right now, and we come back and we're focused and locked in, ready to make a push for the playoffs, I'm all good with that. Because right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are still 8-1, still best record in the NFL. Still the best team in the NFL. Yeah, I said it, the best team in the NFL. You want to talk about the Ravens? You want to talk about the Bengals? Who you want to talk about? The Bills? I know we're not talking about the Cowboys. We'll let the media, the mass media lie about that. We'll let the Cowboys and the Cowboys fans lie to themselves with their delusional selves every single day. But as far as people like us that live in reality, blue collar, work hard, pull the bootstrap laces up and all that good shit, and whoop some ass, Eagles, Bird Gang. These are the things that we got to focus on. Not none of the regular season rah rah shit. It's about time we put some of that behind us. We got to start. We got to stop. We got to stop entertaining teams that are just riding our coattail. They try to say that we're riding Dallas's coattail. No, they're riding our coattail, man. This is what they do. You know, Dallas. Come on, man. This is Bird Gang. We, I don't. One thing about me, I'm not gonna lie. When we weren't good, I vocalized that we weren't good, man. I vocalized that we needed wide receivers. I've been screaming wide receivers for a long time. And finally, we got some wide receivers. Not one, not two, but we got about four. So I don't live in a delusional world. I remember when we were out there with just Todd Pinkston and what's his name? Something Greg. Sorry, man. I done messed that man name. I remember those days, man. We was out there, man. James Thrash. Was it James Thrash, Ty Pinkston, Brent Selleck? We had boy, but we I mean, we exactly. The fact that I don't remember exactly. But outside of that, man, we got to just be thankful for what we got, and we got to stay locked in and focused and just hope for the best and just try to make sure that guys don't get injured anymore. We got to protect those guys. So if it means putting the game away early like we did last season, I think that's a good formula going forward. It's a good formula going forward, man. Put the games away early. That way you can take guys out. You can take guys out. I don't know how many times I gotta scream this. I know it sounds difficult, but if you look at the mistakes, the mental mistakes, the turnovers, if you look at all those things, those errors, we could have put a lot of those games away sooner. And by doing that, we can make sure that we can rest other people. We could rest our starters and maybe we can get up to a point where we can get Mariota we can get an eye on what Mariota could bring to the table against, a team later in the game. We haven't been able to see any of that. We've been running Jalen Hurts, we've been running AJ Brown, we've been running Smitty, we've been running those boys. Goddard, we've been running those boys. Swift, we've been running those boys into the ground because nobody else is stepping up. And yeah, I talk a lot of shit about Dallas, but it seems like we're guilty of the same damn thing. It must be an NFL thing. And I get it. The game is hard. It's hard to score in that league. I get it. But what you got to understand is other people need the experience too. So if you nice like that, put it on display. Let's not turn the ball over. Put it on display. Don't let them score. Put it on display. Don't allow a sack. Put it on display, and then go sit your ass down so you can rest. So that the next week you could bring your A game and put your A game on display the next week, and then let other people come in and you can rest. But when you're not getting pressure to the quarterback, when you're letting them run around, when you're letting them throw the ball all around the damn field like it's Madden on all pro settings, that's what our defense look like right now. Like it's on all pro settings. We ain't even. So we gotta make sure that we do what we gotta do. We gotta handle our business first, man. But you already know what it is, man. Eagle Talk with your boy Wavy Boy, man. Maybe how we could pull off a miracle. Maybe he can get us a power running back, somebody that we wasn't even thinking about. Somebody who could just come off the couch. We don't even care if they're fat as hell. At the end of the day, just give them the ball and don't fumble, and at least get 4 yards of carry. It's your boy Wavy Boy, Eagle Talk Nation. I'm out of here, man.